Greetings to everyone. So in this video we are going to see about the extended transition function. So del is called as a transition function and del cap is the symbol for extended transition function. Del is we are checking the transition for a single symbol. Okay, a single symbol. Del cap, which is used to represent the transitions of input string of input symbols. String of input symbols. Input symbols. Okay, then on return it returns the number of set of states. Return a set of states. Okay, so extended transition function it is used to check whether the given set of input symbol is accepted by NFA or not, and if it is at last if it reaches the final state, the string is accepted. Okay, so we are going to check by using some example. So this is the given NFA diagram. Okay, so here we have two final states, Q4 and Q2, and the starting state is Q0. How will you identify the starting state and the final state? If the circle with an arrow means it is starting state, and a double circle means it's a final state. So in it's an NFA, right? So in NFA we have 5 tuples. Okay, so M is equal to Q sigma del final state and the starting state. So here Q is set of states, right? So in this NFA we have Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. So we have to write the set of states Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Okay. Then what are the input symbols? This is alphabet. So inputs, it represents the input symbols. So in our diagram here the input symbols are 0 and 1. So 0, 1. Then S is starting state. Here the starting state is Q0. Okay. Then F is the final state. So here we have two final states. So Q2, Q4 are the final states. Okay. Then del is the transition function. Okay. So from this we can draw the transition table, right? So transition table. So transition table is the table which is constructed from this diagram. So it has states and input. So input of 0 and 1. So we are going to draw the transition table for the states. Q0, here in this table we have to represent arrow. Then Q1, Q2 is also a final state, and Q3 and Q4 is also a final state. Okay. Then we have to check the transition function with the input symbol 0 and 1 for each state. Okay. From this diagram, Q0 with the input symbol 0, there is a transition to Q0 and Q3. Okay. So we are going to write Q0, Q3. Then for Q0 with the input symbol 1, it moves to the same state Q0. So it is Q0, Q0 also it moves to the Q1 with the input symbol 1. So we are going to write Q0 and Q1. Okay. Then for Q1 for the input symbol 0, there is no, it's empty, right? So it is 1. So it is empty. So there is no transition with the input symbol 0. So it is empty. Okay. Then for Q1 with the input symbol 1, there is a transition to Q2. So Q2. Then for Q2, for the input symbol 0, it moves to the same state Q2. Then for the 1, the same state Q2. Okay. Then for Q3 with the input symbol 0 and 1. So listen, for Q3, 0 with the input 0, it moves to Q4. With the input 1, there is no transition. So we are entering as empty. So here Q4 and here empty. Then for Q4 with the input symbol 0, it moves to Q4, and the 1 also it moves to the Q4. Okay. So we have drawn the transition table from this transition diagram. Okay, so next we are going to check for this NFA, the string W is equal to 01001 is accepted by this NFA. We are going to check whether this input, whether this strings is accepted by this NFA or DFA by using the transition, extended transition function. Okay, how we are going to write means, first here our starting state is Q0, then final state is Q2 comma Q4, right? Then we are going to write the transition del cap. That starting function is Q0. If it is, there is no input symbol. If there is no input symbol means we are representing this as epsilon. If there is no input symbol means it will be remain in the same state Q0. Okay, so del transition Q0 with the no input symbol, that is empty string, means it will remain in the same state Q0. Then del cap Q0 comma our string W is equal to 01001, right? So 01001. Okay, so del cap of, then we have to take each symbol with this Q0. Okay, del of Q0, that is step by step by using only we are taking a single symbol at each step. Okay, Q0 comma 0 comma the remaining string 1001. Okay, so then del cap of what is Q0 comma 0? What is Q0 comma 0? What is Q0 comma 0? It is Q0 comma Q3, right? It is Q0 comma Q3. So Q0 comma Q3 and the remaining symbol 1001. Okay, so next listen. Del cap of del of, then we have to take with this state, with this first symbol. Okay, here it is 1. So Q0 comma 1 union del of Q3 comma 1, then remaining symbols. We have taken the first symbol, then in the next comma we have to write the remaining symbols 001. Okay, then del cap of, we have to see the transition of Q0 with the input symbol in the transition table. Okay, so Q0 comma 1 is, listen, Q0 comma 1 is Q0 Q1 union del Q3 comma 1 is empty. Okay, 001. So we have to combine this Q0 comma Q1. Okay, comma 001. Then next string is, next is input symbol is 0. So we have to combine this. Okay, so del cap of del of Q0 comma 0 union del of Q1 comma 0. What are the remaining symbol? 0 and 1. Okay, then del cap of, what is del of Q0 comma 0? Here Q0 comma 0, listen, Q0 Q3. So Q0 Q3 union, what is Q1 comma 0? What is Q1 comma 0? It is empty. So empty comma 0. Then del cap of, we have to combine union function. So Q0 Q3 comma 0 1. Okay, then next transition function for next symbol is 0, right? So Q0 comma 0 del of, then union del of Q3 comma 0 comma the remaining symbol is 1. Okay, then what is del of Q0 comma 0? Q0 comma 0 is Q0 Q3. Q3 union, what is Q3 comma 0? It is Q4 comma 1. Okay, then del cap of, we have to combine this Q0 Q3 and Q4 comma 1. Okay, the next step is Q0 comma del of Q0 comma 1, then union del of q3 comma 1 union del of q4 comma 1. Okay, then here there is no symbols to read, right? So we have to complete this by using del of q0 1 q3 comma 1 q4 comma 1. There is no symbols. Okay, we have completed. So then del cap of, we have to write the transition function. q0 comma 1 is q0 q1 q0 q1 union. What is q3 comma 1? Empty. q4 comma 1 q4. Okay, then so if there is no symbol means we have to represent the empty string. Okay, epsilon. Then del cap of q0 comma q1 comma empty, then q4. Okay, comma epsilon. So at first we have seen that del cap of q0, if the state with any empty string, it will be in the same state, right? q0 comma no input symbols to read means it will be in the same state q0. Likewise, del cap of q0 q1 q4, there is no symbols, right? We have completed, we have find out all the transition functions for the strings, right? So here del cap of q0 q1 q4 comma epsilon means it will be in the state q0 q1 q4. So this is a state for del cap of the initial state comma the string. Then how will you check whether this input string w is equal to 01001 is accepted or not? Means in this set whether it contains the final state? Yes, right? So q4 is the final state, right? q4 is the final state, hence the string is accepted by this NFA. Okay, so from at last we got some set of states. From this set, if there any state belongs to the final state means the particular string is accepted by the NFA. Okay, so therefore the string w is equal to 01001 is accepted by NFA. Okay, thank you.